the night before becoming empress. Mother repeatedly warned me, cautioning that I must never develop feelings for the emperor. I listened, managed the rear palace in perfect order, ensuring fairness to all. Everyone praised my virtue and wisdom until the day His Majesty brought back the little princess from the northern frontier. I saw countless bullet comments. Is this what it means to be the emperor's white moonlight empress? So gentle. Alas, she's going to die. No helping it. This is a forced love story. She can't compete with the female lead. So, I am to die. When the little princess from the northern frontier was brought back, her hands and feet were bound, and even her mouth was gagged with a cloth. Her nation had fallen, yet His Majesty intended to take her as a consort. This was an irreconcilable conflict, but His Majesty handed this hot potato to me to resolve. It was at this moment I saw lines of text floating in the air. Is this what it means to be the white moonlight empress? Alas, she's going to die. No helping it. This is a forced love story. She can't compete with the female lead. The empress is so beautiful, virtuous, and kind. No wonder that scoundrel emperor still pines for her years after her death. But it's the female lead who truly captured the scoundrel emperor's heart, ending up as the sole favorite in the entire palace. What? The female lead must utterly despise the male lead at this point. Kingdom destroyed, fake amnesia, tangled love, and hate. So delicious, absolutely delicious. The little princess from the northern frontier is extraordinarily beautiful, with her exotic eyes and delicate features, even bound and dressed in coarse hemp cloth. Her breathtaking beauty remains undiminished. I couldn't help but marvel inwardly. The consorts all harbored some degree of resentment toward her looks. No wonder His Majesty was smitten. She's such a seductive beauty. TSK. Consort Elara? Elara implies deep marital love. How could His Majesty bestow such a name on this little upstart? Those floating texts began speaking up for the little princess. Indeed, if Princess Elara weren't so stunningly beautiful, would Aiden Zhao have spared her life? It can't be helped. She's too gorgeous. No man could resist wanting her. This must be what they mean by beauty brings calamity. What? The female lead is truly pitiful. Only 14, raised in sheltered comfort, only to have her nation fall and family perish so suddenly. I do sympathize with Consort Alara's plight as well. Very well, since she is someone your Majesty favors. From this day forth, she shall be our sister. I stared for a while at the words floating in the air. I finally understood what these words represented. This is the world of a book, and I am about to die. After all, Consort Alara is your Majesty's consort. We cannot keep the young lady bound like this. Arya, untie her, have her freshen up, and then bring her to me, cleaned up. Consort Alara's beauty was even more breathtaking, radiant and dazzling, her eyes like glistening amber, unforgettable to behold. Upon seeing me, she immediately knelt and pleaded, Empress, please release me. I don't wish to marry Aiden Zhao. I don't want to wed him. Please, help me. Consort Alara kowtowed, her head striking the floor with heavy thuds. Noble Consort Jade, standing nearby, couldn't bear it any longer. She rolled her eyes and scolded, How dare you address His Majesty by his personal name? Consort Alara, don't think that just because His Majesty granted you consort status, you've truly transformed from a branch dweller into a phoenix. Consort Alara bit her lip fiercely. The comment stream flooded with messages of sympathy. After a moment of silence, I spoke up to intervene. Enough. All of you may withdraw. I wish to speak privately with Consort Alara. His Majesty had been entangled in disputes with his ministers for a long time over granting consort status to a princess of a fallen kingdom. As the Empress, it was my duty to ease His Majesty's burdens. Now that His Majesty sent Consort Alara to me, wasn't it precisely so I could persuade her to willingly remain in the Yen Empire? Yet currently, Consort Alara only wished to escape His Majesty. How could such a matter be resolved with just a few words from me? I sighed. Cease your tears. His Majesty favors you. How could your stay or departure possibly be my decision to make? Consort Alara shook her head, weeping despairingly. But I don't like him at all. He's a madman. He killed my brother, murdered my father emperor and empress mother, and even tried to force himself on me. Your Majesty, Princess Alara knows the northern frontier has fallen and has no power to restore the kingdom. All I want is freedom. Everyone in the palace says you are a kind-hearted person. I beg you, please help me. The comments poured in with sympathy. The female lead is crying so pitifully. It hurts to see, but you're asking the wrong person. The Empress is about to die soon. True, if Her Majesty the Empress had lived longer, the female lead might have escaped. The Empress was also the female lead's cherished light in the Yen Empire. Only the Empress treated her the best. Sob. My eyes darkened for a moment. This was the second time the comments mentioned my death. But how could I possibly die? I married into the royal family at 16 and became the Empress, second only to the Emperor, revered by all. It has been 6 years to this day. I have both a son and a daughter. My maternal clan is powerful, and the 6 palaces are harmonious. My daily health readings have always been perfectly normal. Even Your Majesty could find no fault in me, praising me as a virtuous and excellent Empress. Who would want to harm me? I wanted to find the answer from the barrage comments, but these comments never seemed to hit the key point. I had no choice but to turn my attention back to Consort Alara. Rest assured, for now, you may stay peacefully in the Empress's palace. I will speak with His Majesty on your behalf. His Majesty had a palace specially renovated for Consort Alara. During this time, Consort Alara will reside in my quarters. Naturally, I will take good care of this frightened young woman. She didn't get the answer she was hoping for. Consort Alara's face paled, but she also knew that my protecting her once was no small feat. She nodded and agreed. Afterward, I had a covert letter sent to my father. If I wasn't killed because I offended someone in the palace, then it must be due to my status threatening the interests of certain noble families outside the palace. His Majesty finally had some free time. He led a crowd of people into the Empress's palace. His first words were, "Where is Consort Alara?" I smiled. The palace attendants just reported that Consort Alara has already retired for the night. I shall go see her. Aiden Zhao was in high spirits, a slight smile gracing his handsome features. At that moment, I saw those bullet comments again. Oh no, when the male and female leads clash later, the female lead will take her own life. This is too heartbreaking. I'm almost too afraid to watch. Alarmed, I quickly said, "Your Majesty, Consort Alara has been frightened and plagued by nightmares for days. She has just fallen asleep. Perhaps I could have her see you after she wakes?" Aiden Zhao paused mid-step. I continued, "Consort Alara is still young. Such a sudden upheaval is naturally difficult to adjust to. Your Majesty, if you wish for her to stay willingly, she needs time." Aiden Zhao nodded. "The Empress is most considerate. I am reassured to leave Consort Alara in your care." I smiled faintly. "It is my duty as Your Majesty's consort to share your burdens." Aiden Zhao, "Then let Yaoer rest longer. I shall visit her again tonight." Yet the bullet comments expressed surprise. Huh? Just agree like that? Strange. How is the Empress still alive today? Indeed, today was supposed to be when the leads clash. The Empress meddling has messed up the plot. No matter, she'll die eventually. Probably forgot to eat the poison meal while tending to the female lead. Aiden Zhao departed. My gaze turned pensive. Indeed, I had uncovered traces of suspicion in both daily meals and palace staff. To avoid poisoning, I had consumed only a few cups of plain water today. Yet, judging by these comments, those seeking my harm remain undiscovered. Though occupied with managing the palace affairs, I greatly valued my physical well-being. Beyond attending to His Majesty, I always retired to bed by the hour of the dog, 7:09 p.m. But tonight, I was awakened by a sharp, piercing scream. I opened my eyes. Before me floated many frantic bullet comments. "What? I can't watch this. Empress, please go save the female lead. This will traumatize her. The female lead is only 14. My little sister in middle school is just 14 too. The Emperor is in heat every single moment. I can't stand this anymore. Oh no, Consort Alara is in trouble. I spoke up. Arya, go check on Consort Alara in the side chamber. Arya knelt. Your Majesty, you mustn't go. His Majesty is in high spirits right now. If you interrupt, he will be displeased with you. I recalled that young, helpless face. Frowning, I said, what does that matter now? I promised her I would advise His Majesty. If anything happens to Consort Alara, I will never have peace of mind. Arya opened her mouth, but said nothing more. Yes, the bullet comments were frantic. The Empress is truly an angel. Oh my, those who harm her have no heart. Your Majesty, please hurry. Save our Princess Alara. Forced possession? Isn't this just trafficking? Consort Alara's sharp cry halted me at the doorway. My heart felt as if struck by a heavy blow. Eunuch Heath beside His Majesty hurriedly stopped me. Empress Mother, oh dear, you must not enter now. What is His Majesty doing? Eunuch Heath looked troubled. Empress Mother, His Majesty has ordered that no one is to enter. I glanced sideways at him, my tone suddenly dropping. And what if I insist? Silence fell all around after these words. Though I am usually easygoing, it does not mean I am truly lenient. A flicker of resignation crossed Eunuch Heath's face as he stepped aside. Please proceed. Your Majesty, I declared clearly. Arya, kick the door open. Yes. Bullet comments. Empress, you're so dashing. I think I'm falling for you. Oh my, Princess Alara, your Empress has come to save you. Where is my army of loyal subjects? Can you just leave with that nonsense? Is that all you ever think about? Can't girls just have pure friendship? Your Majesty, I called out to stop Aiden Zhao's movements. Even though I was mentally prepared, the sight before me still broke my heart. Consort Alara was half naked, bound to the bed with tears in her eyes, looking utterly hopeless and disoriented. Her hair was disheveled from struggling, and red marks from the restraints marred her wrists. Like a trapped bird with no escape, she was terrified, trembling all over. Only when she saw me did a glimmer of hope light up her eyes. Hatred, pain, numbness, sorrow, all condensed into one sentence, spoken with the utmost grievance. Empress, didn't you say you would protect Princess Alara? My heart wrenched violently, overwhelmed with waves of guilt. Consort Alara is a living, breathing person. How could your Majesty treat her like this? I rushed to her side, draping the prepared cloak over Consort Alara's form until she was fully covered. I'm sorry I came too late. Aiden Zhao's plans were thwarted, his face darkening with anger. Empress, what is the meaning of this? I turned and knelt, bowing my head low. Your Majesty, this is not the time for Consort Alara to serve you. I beg you, for my sake, spare her this once. Aiden Zhao narrowed his eyes and let out a cold laugh. Empress, as the son of heaven, must I consult anyone when I desire a woman? He reached out and flung the cloak off Consort Alara's body. The bullet comments erupted in fury. This damned emperor, bullying the heroine like this. Draw your sword. This is infuriating. Absolutely infuriating. The female lead isn't treated like a human being at all, even though there'll be a chase. Wife, to the crematorium arc later. Could she really fall for someone who trampled her into the mud? My heart trembled, and I hurriedly called out, Your Majesty, you've seen Consort Alara's condition. Why not wait until she... Silence. Empress, do not presume to tell me how to rule. Leave. I lower my head even further. Your Majesty, seeing me refuse to move. Aiden Zhao's anger flared even hotter. Empress, do not force my hand, he said in a low voice. Attempting to drive me away, I rose slowly, my tone neither submissive nor defiant. Your Majesty entrusted the rear palace to me, which means you trusted me. If I cannot care for every sister within these walls, then I have failed in my duty. If your Majesty no longer trusts me, you may revoke my authority at once. You, Aiden Zhao choked on his words, then let out a cold, mocking laugh. He stepped closer, gripping my neck with brutal force. His voice icy. Fine, very well. My esteemed Empress now uses her position to coerce me. I felt suffocated, almost unable to breathe. A chilling coldness seeped through my heart. so utterly mad. Is this truly the sovereign the Yen Empire trusts? Your Majesty, Mother is merely concerned for Consort Alara. Please do not blame her. Your Majesty. Arya was terrified, scrambling over to kowtow at Aiden Zhao's feet. Aiden Zhao kicked her away, and she thudded against the nearby dressing table. How dare you? Since when does a servant speak here? I smiled. Your Majesty, I said, if you refuse to believe me, you may revoke my authority. Aiden Zhao laughed even more maniacally. Zhen Qin, do you truly think I dare not oppose you? A smile still lingered on my lips. Of course he dared, but I must protect Consort Alara. After a prolonged standoff, Aiden Zhao finally roared in anger, released his grip, and flung me to the ground. Fine, I grant your wish. A violent impact struck. A searing pain shot through my abdomen, a sinking force that beaded sweat on my brow as blood slowly trickled from below. My lips turned pale. Arya cried out in utter despair. Mother, the Empress is in trouble. Mother, someone, help, quick, someone help. But what stunned me even more was the barrage of comments. He's insane. The damned Emperor doesn't even care about the Empress. I'll kill that bastard Emperor. That's Zhen Qin, the Qin family's daughter whom countless suitors sought, the one he begged on his knees to marry. How dare he? Don't be naive. The Emperor's been plotting to wipe out the Qin clan all along. The gut-wrencher poison that seeps into the marrow. Wasn't it the damned Emperor who gave it to the Empress? I sat dazed on the ground, suddenly overwhelmed by boundless sorrow. So it was true. After all, in truth, I had never held high expectations for Aiden Zhao as a husband. Even when he was an unfavored prince back then, he was completely devoted to me. But I knew, once he became the sovereign, between him and me, it would first be ruler and subject, then husband and wife. So every word Mother said to me back then, I followed diligently. I never gave away my whole heart. For me, achieving harmony between Emperor and Empress was already enough. But Aiden Zhao was like an insatiable hungry wolf. From the moment he approached me, he climbed step by step, eliminated all imperial relatives, and, with the support of my father, the chancellor of the nation, secured the throne. Now, Aiden Zhao's wings have fully grown. He no longer needs me, nor the Qin family. Thus, I can be discarded without hesitation. I lay in bed for a long time, though heartbroken. I gradually came to accept this reality. A daughter of the Qin family will never be defeated by setbacks. What matters more now is what Aiden Zhao will do to the Qin family next. Early this morning, Aiden Zhao charged me with defying the imperial decree and declared my dethronement as empress. But he failed, because the child in my womb had just been lost, and because the ministers vehemently opposed it, arguing that the Empress had not committed any misconduct. He had no right to depose me. I touched my lower abdomen. So, there had once been a life here, yet it was snuffed out by its own father. How utterly absurd. Though not dethroned, I was ultimately confined to the Empress's palace, forbidden from leaving for 2 months. Everyone in the palace naturally knew why. Even Consort Alara fell out of favor. Those bullet comments danced before my eyes daily. Empress Mother, Princess Alara is being bullied to death. Please go check on her. Without the Empress's protection, Princess Alara will only suffer more. Princess Alara already feels deeply guilty for causing the Empress to be placed under house arrest. I coughed, covering my mouth with a handkerchief. The dark red bloodstains made my face abruptly pale. Aiden Zhao's methods are endless. Still unwilling to let me go, Arya bowed her head, silently taking the handkerchief and replacing it with a fresh one. Arya smiled. Your Majesty, with Arya here, you will be safe. I recalled that day when Aiden Zhao vented his fury with a kick at Arya. My eyes filled with more pain and concern. I glanced at Arya's trembling waist. You've suffered for me. Arya shook her head. The servant feels no pain. If your Majesty is humiliated, it is because your servant is incompetent. Arya is a household-born servant, having followed me since childhood. She and I are as close as sisters. By targeting her this time, Aiden Zhao has trampled my dignity into the ground, showing not the slightest regard for our marital bonds. I let out a mocking laugh. My gaze drifted to the falling snow outside the window, recalling a snowy night a year ago. Aiden Zhao was still making promises to me under the glow of red candles. In this lifetime, he would never betray me. I shook those images from my mind. It was all but an illusion. I said softly, Arya, it won't be long now until the Lantern Festival, right? Arya replied, yes, Your Majesty. Every year on the Lantern Festival, the Crown Prince and Princess return from the imperial quarters. Indeed, my children still need my care. At that moment, a few more lines of bullet comments drifted down. It's over. Aiden Zhao just set a trap for his father-in-law, and now he's sent assassins to kill the Crown Prince and Princess. The Empress is going to be heartbroken again. Please be kinder to the Empress. I'm crying, my breath caught, my lips pressed tightly together. The prayer beads in my hand were gripped so hard they felt stiff. Immediately, a handmaiden's announcement came from outside. Your Highness, it's terrible. The Crown Prince and Princess Luna have been assassinated and are currently missing. I shot to my feet. What did you say? At the same moment, with a sharp snap, the prayer beads in my hand snapped from my excessive grip, scattering across the floor. They rolled away in all directions. Fury reddened my eyes. My blood boiled, and a metallic sweetness rose in my throat. My vision darkened, and I nearly fainted. It was Arya who desperately soothed me, pressing firmly on my philtrum. Your Highness, please don't panic. The Crown Prince and Princess are blessed with long life. They will surely be safe and sound. I sat back down, gasping for air. When I lifted my gaze again, tears streamed down like rain. Good, very good. How dare he actually lay a hand on my children? Never in my life have I hated someone this much. Aiden Zhao. His venomous heart is now plain for all to see. I no longer want to drag Aiden Zhao down from the throne. Such a punishment is far too lenient. What I intend to do is regicide. No one knows how I endured this past month and more. Every night, I dream of my children, crying as they search for me, calling me mother, tears soaking my pillow. Yet, waking brings only emptiness. In these moments, I burn with the desire to kill Aiden Zhao, to devour his flesh and drink his blood. But the time is not yet right. I cannot avenge my royal children now. On the eve of the Lantern Festival, I was finally released. Out of concern for my son, Arya told me that it was Consort Alara who pleaded with Aiden Zhao, which is why I was freed ahead of time. Having not seen her for so long, Consort Alara showed no signs of weariness, but upon seeing me, her eyes suddenly reddened, and she knelt before me at once. Empress, I am sorry. It is Princess Alara who has brought this upon you. I shook my head and smiled, pulling her up. No need to kneel. We both know the fault lies not with us. Why? Let it breed discord between us. Princess Alara nodded, a trace of disappointment in her eyes as she said, I've already agreed to stay in the Yen Empire, perhaps fearing I'd be upset. She quickly added, but mother, you must believe me. Princess Alara will not contend for the Empress's position. I noticed that the bullet comments, absent for so long, had reappeared. Princess Alara gets worn out by the Dog Emperor every night. Damn it, two precious souls caught in hardship. Women in feudal times were truly trapped without escape. Both of you, flee the palace together. Sob, Empress, don't be sad. The child was actually hidden by your father, as expected of a nation's prime minister. Even if Aiden Zhao is clever, he's barely 30, while Prime Minister Qin has lived 4 or 5 decades. Only at this moment did I truly feel at ease. My eyes stung with tears. I nearly wept with joy. Father. Indeed, I had long ago written to father, warning him to be wary of Aiden Zhao. Unknowingly, it ended up saving my child's life. That day, Princess Alara and I spoke at length. Those floating comments accompanied us all the while. I finally understood all of Aiden Zhao's schemes. At the Lantern Festival family banquet, I still appeared haggard. Noble Consort Jade, seeing my low spirits, comforted me. Mother, I know you worry for the Crown Prince and Princess, but today is the Lantern Festival. We ought to be merry. I knew she feared I might provoke Aiden Zhao again, but now I knew exactly who he was. I couldn't even bring myself to pretend. Though Princess Alara held the title of Consort Alara, Aiden Zhao doted on her so much that she sat as my equal. He truly adored Consort Alara. However, before, I wouldn't have been angered by this. And now, even less so. I drank cup after cup of wine. Before Aiden Zhao could speak, I proactively requested to leave. Your Majesty, this humble consort is unwell and shall take her leave now. Throughout this, I did not spare him a single glance. The barrage exploded. Holy shit, the Empress is this bold? She was truly wounded. They were childhood sweethearts after all. A love story ending in tragedy. Her gaze seemed to say, my father is the Prime Minister. My brother is the General. Dare you depose me? Can you even depose me? Aiden Zhao's face turned livid with rage. Yet, he was powerless. Though, he held his ground. Not everything could go according to his wishes. Deposing the Empress was an act that would shake the Yen Empire. I returned to the palace, but did not retire early. Around midnight, Aiden Zhao finally arrived belatedly at my Empress's palace. In the faint candlelight, I wore plain robes, free of makeup, my clear features and peerless beauty radiant. Aiden Zhao's throat bobbed, momentarily transfixed as he murmured, Jinjin, are you angry with me? I replied slowly, I wouldn't dare. That day, I acted too impulsively. As he spoke, Aiden Zhao embraced me from behind, his hand already resting on my lower abdomen. Jinjin, we can have another child. No, we cannot. I sneered coldly in my heart. I would never bear another child for Aiden Zhao. Yet outwardly, I turned my head with pitiful fragility, tears clinging to my lashes, lips half bitten, my dewy eyes gazing at the Emperor. I called out dreamily, Your Majesty, then buried my face in his chest, shoulders trembling with sobs. At this point, how could he possibly remain angry? Aiden Zhao sighed, scooping me into his arms. The room filled with amorous tension. Those bullet comments began scrolling again. Work injury, let go of my Empress. I beg you, don't touch her. I'll kneel to you. Just don't lay a hand on my Empress. I want to die. The Empress is sacrificing too much. I don't want to live anymore. When the usually detached Empress begins to vie for favor, yet no one in the rear palace utters a word of complaint. Noble consort Jade sent over several exquisitely crafted jade hairpins. I know your Majesty lacks nothing, but this is my humble gesture. Please accept it. Noble consort Jade's eyes shifted slyly. Your Majesty, you must be cautious of consort Alara. Should I perhaps? I cut her off. Jade, consort Alara, you and I are all women. Is today's consort Alara not yesterday's you? I know you mean to protect me, but she is innocent too. Noble consort Jade stared at me, stunned. Jade was her name. Jade and also the legitimate daughter of the Minister of Revenue. In the past, outside the palace, she was reasonable, lively, and most passionate about punishing evil and defending the weak. Somehow, she had changed, tamed by the rules of the palace. Noble consort Jade bowed timidly. Mother, this concubine knows her fault. No, this is not Alara's fault. If she were not like this, the one treated this way might have been her. The root of the conflict lies not here. Noble consort, do not trouble consort Alara from now on. Noble consort Jade nodded, saying she would remember. Those bullet comments seemed to adore me. As I approached consort Alara, they scrolled rapidly. Thank goodness. It's the Empress. We're saved. Your Majesty, please talk some sense into Princess Alara. She'll drive herself to death. I know. Your Majesty was furious that consort Alara had not conceived, even desecrating her father and brother's graves to force her to bear his heir. Such brutal measures nearly made consort Alara weep herself unconscious. Even the imperial physicians who examined consort Alara were dragged out and executed, several of them, but the physicians knew well. Whether a child is royal or not can't all depend on the woman. Princess Alara, it's me, Mother. I sat by Princess Alara's bedside. She had buried her head under the quilt, weeping until she was drenched in tears. Hearing my voice, she barely moved her head. She peeked out, her beautiful eyes swollen and red from crying. Like walnuts, Mother, seeing me, Princess Alera's emotions completely collapsed. Mother, woo 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 woo. Mother, why did it take you so long to come? Woo 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 woo. Princess Alera abandoned the quilt and threw herself into my arms instead. Soft fragrance and warm jade. Bullet comments. I'm so moved. Now that the Empress has arrived, Princess Alera is willing to see people. Even the domineering noble consort Jade acts like a sulky little sister in front of the Empress. Heavens, I dare not imagine how many girls the Empress has saved. I gave Arya a meaningful look, and she silently withdrew. Arya said sternly, "The Empress is inside. No one is to disturb her. You all, guard the door." The bullet comments express surprise. No wonder she's the head maid. I thought the Empress was having an eye twitch. A tacit understanding existed between mistress and maid. A single glance from the Empress was all it took for Alia to grasp the meaning. What? I love such a gentle Empress. I want a hug too. I gently patted Princess Alera's back. It's all right. No one will hear. Cry if you need to. Princess Alera sobbed and raged. I already promised him I'd stay in the Yen Empire. Why did he still treat me like this? Those were my father and brother's remains. How could he do this to me? He's a beast. A heartless beast. What should I do? Your Majesty. Wah. What should I do? Alera. I cupped the young girl's face and softly wiped the tears from her eyes. Do you trust me? Princess Alera looked at me with tear-filled eyes and nodded, saying, I believe you. Then we wait. Everyone who has hurt us will pay the price. Won't they? Princess Alera seemed to awaken from a dream. She grabbed my hand, as if clutching the only lifeline. Mother, tell me what I must do. I told the young girl word by word. Obey him, deceive him, endure. Princess Alera bit her lower lip hard, thinking of her clan's humiliation, and finally nodded. All right, Empress, I trust you. Princess Alera was an obedient, good child. After I spoke that day, she never argued with Aiden Zhao again. Because of this, he visited the Empress's palace more frequently, yet he still felt guilty toward Princess Alera. He was the one taking all the advantages, but he was also the one who could least be criticized. Aiden Zhao's favor toward Princess Alera had subtly begun to surpass his regard for me, yet within the harem, not a single soul voiced complaint. Everyone busied themselves with their own affairs, learning melodies, playing the zither, and in leisure, sharing tea and composing couplets with sister consorts. The only discontent came from the court ministers. They had sent their cherished daughters into the palace, not to serve as mere foils to consort Alera's brilliance. This inevitable conflict had been seeded since consort Alera's entry into the palace. One day, it would erupt, and I intended to be the spark that ignited it. It was now the 6th month. The palace lotuses bloomed splendidly, occasional carp gliding through, pink upon pink, a dazzling sight. I smiled, tossing fish feed into the water. Arya, how long do you think your Majesty's resolve to depose the Empress can hold? This servant dare not speculate. Enough. I shall inform Aiden Zhao myself. Bathed in sunlight, warm and soothing, I hummed softly, slowly stretching out my arms. Such an undignified gesture. I hadn't made it since entering the palace. Yet today, I deliberately did it. I walked to the lotus pond, smiled faintly, and the next moment, plunged into the water with a splash. Arya's cry rang out at that instant. Help! Someone! The Empress has fallen into the water. A fall into the water left me unconscious for 3 days. Aiden Zhao was entangled by consort Alera. Not only did he not come to see me, he even told the ministers he intended to depose the Empress and install Princess Alera in her place. The reason given, the Empress had stumbled and was frail, while consort Alera was healthy, currently with child, who would be the crown prince of the Yen Empire. This shocking news struck the court officials like a bolt from the blue. The ministers argued that though the crown prince had been lost half a year prior, the second and third princes still remained in the palace. How could a foreign woman like consort Alera be fit to become empress? The one who uttered these words was immediately dragged away, had his tongue removed, and his entire clan exterminated. As for the second and third princes, also fell into the water overnight and fell into a coma. At this point, it was clear to everyone that the emperor was determined to depose the empress and crown a foreign woman as the mother of the nation. Even the empress mother's fall into the water might not have been an accident. After this incident, no one dared to oppose Aiden Zhao's decisions anymore. However, he also lost the people's support because of it. The minister whose 9 clans were executed was a veteran of 2 dynasties, having served the emperor for over 40 years. Even provoking the emperor's wrath led to such a fate. Then, what about them? Surprisingly, Prime Minister Qin remained as loyal to the emperor as ever. Even though the empress was ill and weak, Prime Minister Qin did not even furrow his brow, just as everyone thought Prime Minister Qin was truly this cold-blooded. Inside the emperor's palace, Heron Qin kowtowed until his forehead was bloody, not to plead for his daughter's position as empress, but for his son's memorial tablet. It turned out that his eldest son had gone to battle but was ambushed at the Twin Passes, resulting in the entire army being wiped out with no survivors. The emperor was enraged. He nearly exterminated the Qin family's 9 clans on the spot. All of this was told to me by Arya. At that time, I was so ill in bed I couldn't even sit up. Wondering if I had taken the game too far, noble consort Jade wiped her tears while cursing consort Alara. Mother, your majesty is so heartless. And it's all because consort Alara has bewitched him, making him refuse to even see you. She truly is an ungrateful wretch. Jade, what your majesty decides is not for you or me to determine. We must abide by his will. Do not speak such words again. Consort Alara is kind-hearted. If she becomes empress, she will only do better than I. Noble consort Jade refused to accept this outcome. Mother, how can you still defend consort Alara at a time like this? Just because she is slightly more beautiful than your humble consort, you shield her like this? That enchantress. Bullet comments. Why weren't you this angry when the empress fought for favor? Yet, a few mentions of Princess Alara make you lose your composure? Embrace the darkness. Jaden, she indeed has more than just you as a friend. Am I the only one worried about Jaden? The dog emperor has people listening. I'm truly afraid he'll have Jade and eliminated too. I curve my lips into a smile. I gave noble consort Jade's hand a gentle squeeze. She's perfect in every way, except her temper is far too impatient. Enough now. Even jealousy has its limits. Consort Alara isn't as wretched as you imagine. Return to your quarters. Perhaps in a few days, this mother's illness will improve. Hearing me defend her point by point, Jade pouted discontentedly, her eyes reddening with anger. Mother always protects her. Then she turned and stormed off. But little did she know, I feared Aiden Zhao's cruelty, that he wouldn't even spare Jaden. My illness grew increasingly severe. I knew Aiden Zhao had been secretly dosing me with poison. An emperor's heart is indeed ruthless. Consort Alara's reputation also worsened steadily. As my grave illness dragged on, she never once came to see me. In a daze, I heard many cries. It seemed everyone was waiting for my death. But Jaden was an exception. Why cry? Weep, weep, weep. You'll cry away all the empress's good fortune. Isn't Her Majesty the Empress still with us? Concubine Shi, Lady Li, Attendant Xiao, who was it that saved you back when His Majesty nearly had your heads? Consort Xian, Consort Shu, Consort Da, you were all just lowly newcomers in the palace back then. If not for the Empress's protection, you would have fallen victim to the late imperial consort schemes. And you, those of lower rank, always trampled on by palace snobs. If not for the Empress's aid, you would have frozen to death in the winter. Now, with all this weeping, are you trying to bring ill fortune upon the Empress for nothing? The barrage of comments wept desperately. Such a wonderful Empress. Why doesn't that damned Emperor cherish her? Because he's vile. When someone is vile, they can't see the goodness in those around them. Why, doesn't everyone in the rear palace except the Emperor adore Her Majesty the Empress? Watching Jade ignite like a little firecracker, yet her own eyes welled up with large teardrops. I knew she was afraid. afraid I might truly die. I breathed weakly, speaking slowly. Noble consort, do not scold them. If they did not weep, it would mean they hold no regard for me in their hearts. Noble consort Jade bit her lip fiercely. The tip of her nose flushed crimson. At that very moment, Your Majesty arrived belatedly with Consort Alara. All of you, withdraw. Noble consort Jade shot a resentful glance at the pair before withdrawing indignantly. Your Majesty, I beg forgiveness for being unable to rise. Empress, remain reclined. Aiden Zhao glanced at the medicine bowl by my bedside. Empress, why have you not yet taken your medicine? The bullet comments continued, urging me. Wah, that wretched emperor poisons your medicine daily. Why is Princess Alara so cold toward the empress? I thought they were going to join forces that day. Everyone, stay calm. Trust the empress. I smiled weakly. It's too bitter. I can't drink anymore. Your Majesty. Aiden Zhao brought the spoon to my lips. Empress, how can you recover without taking your medicine? Consort Alara suddenly took it over. Your Majesty, please allow me to feed the empress her medicine. After finishing the bitter decoction, I asked, Your Majesty, are you happy? From an unfavored prince to an overlooked royal after the late emperor's death. Then later, meeting me, Zhen Qin, meant gaining the Qin family support, step by step ascending to the throne. I thought he must be happy. Zhen, if you truly care for me, then die. Your father and brother have committed an unforgivable crime. For your sake, I will spare their lives. Aiden Zhao spoke these heartless words. Even now, his hands remained wrapped around Consort Alara. He couldn't bear to be apart from Consort Alara. All right, Your Majesty, may I comb your hair one last time? A tear traced my cheek as I gazed at him mournfully. Without hesitation, Aiden Zhao sat at my bedside. You may. My fingers brushed through Aiden Zhao's hair, just as on our wedding day. First stroke, from root to tip. Second stroke, may mother's hair turn white with age. Third stroke, may children and grandchildren fill her halls. Fourth stroke, may fortune favor the master, meeting noble aid on his path. Fifth stroke, 5 sons attain honors, 5 silver shoots flourishing alike. Sixth stroke, kin and friends come in celebration. Rouge tints the bridal chamber's mirror. Seventh stroke, the weaving maid descends to wed the herd boy. Magpies bridge the heavens in gentle balance. Eighth stroke, the 8 immortals bring longevity blessings. Mandarin ducks glide through lotus ponds beyond. Ninth stroke, 9 interlinked rings, every blessing present. 10th stroke, husband and wife grow old together with hair of snow. I whispered the verses. But, Your Majesty, we shall never see our hair turn white together. In an instant, I drew a dagger hidden beneath my pillow and plunged it deep into Aiden Zhao's neck. Blood spurted out, splattering across my face, the metallic scent filling my nostrils. Yet I felt no fear. That single tear earlier had already drained all my terror. The live comments exploded. Holy shit. I looked away for 1 second, and the Empress just killed the Emperor? This plot went from peak to insane. So damn good. Yes, well done. That bastard Emperor should have been written off ages ago. Aiden Zhao's eyes flew wide open, but his throat could no longer produce a sound. It wasn't that he was foolish. He simply never believed I'd dare assassinate an emperor. You seized Princess Alara by force, levied excessive taxes. You're unfit to rule. You harmed the innocent, caused commoners' deaths. You're unfit to rule, arrogant and dismissive of your duties. You're unfit to rule. As a sovereign, you're ruthless and cruel. You're unfit to rule. Aiden Zhao, you deserve to die. He collapsed to the ground, clutching his wound. He laughed like a madman. Zhen Qin, do you think killing me will save you? Your poison has already seeped into your marrow. Is that so? A pity. I added one more ingredient to the medicine, which happens to neutralize that very poison. You often poison others, yet you never realize that Princess Alara's fragrance is an invisible, lethal toxin. The reason you're so easily killed by me now is precisely because you are the one with poison in your marrow. Aiden Zhao still wanted to scream for help, but doing so only made his blood flow faster. I crouched down. Your Majesty still doesn't know. Does you? My brother's army is advancing unstoppably and will soon return to the capital. I wonder which spy spread such foolish news of his total defeat, thinking their schemes could undo decades of his battlefield experience. The light in Aiden Zhao's eyes slowly faded. He looked toward Consort Alara, still hoping for rescue. Consort Alara's eyes were full of disgust. Don't touch me. Do you have any idea how utterly repulsive your every touch feels to me? You killed my father and brother, annihilated my clan. How foolish was I to ever love someone like you? Aiden Zhao, go to hell. Consort Alara pulled out the dagger, only to plunge it back in. Aiden Zhao grunted in pain. He stiffened and collapsed to the ground. All hope of life extinguished completely. Afterward, it was not hard to see. Both Princess Alara and I were trembling, yet we felt no regret. Princess Alara, you're free now. In the year 235 AD, Consort Alara of the Yen Empire was charged with regicide and thrown into the imperial dungeon, sentenced to execution at a later date. Spies mistakenly reported General Qin's defeat, leading to his scheduled execution. Aiden Zhao, cruel and virtuous, was deemed unworthy of burial in the imperial tomb. His corpse was left exposed and scorned by thousands. A year later, the Crown Prince and Princess Luna of the Yen Empire were finally recovered. After Empress Xiaoxian regained her health, she began a decade-long reign behind the curtain. Thus began the golden age of Yen, where women held up half the sky. Many years later, I spoke with Jade and about this matter again. You saw everything that day, didn't you? Jade and nodded, but I only hid in the hall because I was worried about you. I knew, all these years, if Jade and had wanted to harm me, she would have done so long ago. In truth, whoever had witnessed it that day, none would have exposed me. Jade and pursed her lips, unable to resist asking, then, did Consort Alara really die? She did die, huh? Consort Alara perished, but Princess Alara survived. There's no contradiction. Mother, you're teasing me again. All right, Jade, from now on, call me Sister Jinjin. Really? Really? After saying this, I winked at the words floating in the air and whispered softly, oh, and thank you all too. I know they can hear me. At the same moment, in another time and space, a young girl let out a piercing scream. Ah, can the Empress actually see the comments? Holy crap. How is this possible? Has the character gained consciousness? Is this even allowed? Wah, I'm crying my eyes out. Empress, I'm going to frame and display the novel, A Slow Death for My Love. Count me in.